Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. In this video, I will explain you how to add up two numbers by using a BPM screen. Okay, so here you can see I have already opened the process application. So with the name loan application, once you open the process application, you have to go to the component called user interfaces. So in the user interfaces, you can see two types of components: client side human service, heritage human services. So these are the two components will be used for building a UI in the BPM. So today I'll be proceeding with the uh, UI creation with a client side human service. Okay. So quickly I'll select this client side human service. Here uh, I will create uh, a client side human service with the name. So I'll give a name like adding tool number. It's a simple screen which will take a um, two text as the inputs and where we will be entering the number. Once we submit it, uh, then there will be a number will be get calculated and the whatever the calculated number will be shown on the screen. So that is what we will be developing today. So I given something like I can and I'll rename it as calculation calculation. I'll give CHS. So for CHS we'll be naming it as CHS. Okay. Once the client side human service got created, here you can see the drop down here. You can see the client side human service created. So and also you will see the diagram here. So mainly in the overview, you can see the service name. In the diagram, you can see the sequence flow. In the variable, you can see the variable which are created as the input and output variables. Okay, and also private variables. So and also like you can see a client side coach here. So the by default it will be get created with the name as coach. So I'll rename it. I'll select this one and here I'll rename it as calculation CHS. Okay, or calculation. I name it as calculation. So if you click on drop down here, you can see the coach. Once you click here, it will open window where the by default the by default coach will be selected as the option. So if you want to change it to the grid or template, so you can select it. So template mainly used template or any other option you can select it, but for me I'll use default coach. So by default, when you select the by default coach, so by default there will be OK button will get added. So I am not going to use this OK button. So just click on delete it. So simple to design this screen. So I'll take two variables uh, where we will be entering the values. And once we click on calculate or submit, the number will be added and it will be shown on the screen. So that is simple screen we will be designing it. So for that, here you can go and we have a palette here. From this palette, you can drag and drop the UI component. So I type it as text. Okay. So in the text, I will drag drop text. So I want a input text. So input text I wanted that is nothing but plain text. I'll be drag and drop. It's plain text. So I needed two text boxes. So that's the reason uh, plain text boxes I'll be dragging drop. So first one I will name it as input one, and second one as input. Okay. So input one and two here will be entering the number. So then below that I want to show the sum. Okay. So for that I'll be dragging drop display text. Okay, this is a display text. So I can say sum. Okay. So once this is done, so I need to perform this action based upon the button clicked. So I will drag and drop the button. Okay, it's a button and it's submit button. Submit, or I can say calculate. Okay, so now the UI is ready. Now just quickly I'll shift to the diagram. Then if I run it, right, so here you can see input and input one and input two, and sum and submit button is showing. Okay, so now I want to assign the values and I need to calculate it. For that I need a variable binding now. So I'll go for a private variables. So because I don't want to submit, I don't want to send any of the values as the output. So that's the reason I'm not using the output variable. And here in this screen, I'm not getting any values as the input. So that's the reason I'm not using any input variables. So I'll go with a private variable because uh, I'm not going to send anything in input or output. That's the reason I'm going for private variable. Okay, and so I created two variable, and both should be integer type, integer. So and input two also, it is, as I'm doing a calculation, I'm taking as an integer, and third variable will be sum, and it is also type of integer. Okay, so some I created three variables. Now I need to do a variable binding. So again, shift to the course, come to diagram and calculate here in the input first variable, right? I need to do a variable binding. Okay, so then select this text box. Here you see bindings. In the bindings, I'll select input one. Okay, and here and input to integer. Okay, and now I'll be displaying a sum. So that is the output. So I binded out. Okay, so now there are two things. Uh, on submit of this button, I can calculate it and I can populate it the screen, or on submit of the screen, so we have a event here, event. So that is on click event. In the on click event, we can calculate it and show it on the and we can show it here. Okay, so there are two way we can do this one. I'll explain with uh, just on submit. I'll go out of the screen and calculate in the script and redirect, and I'll populate that some value in the screen. That's the first way. And another way, on click of this button, we have an event here. In the event, we will do a calculation and populate on the screen in the same screen. So that is another way. Okay, the two way we can do it. First, I'll explain the first way. So first way, so here I need to go to diagram. So here from the palette, I need to drag and drop client side script. Okay, so client side script I have added. Okay, you just delete this sequence flow. Then I'll connect to the client side. Here, if you see on submit button, this script will get executed. So I'll mention it as calculate sum as a script name. Okay. Once this calculation is done, right? So I want to show that sum on the same in the coach. Okay. From here, I'll connect to the coach. So here, how it will be. So on submit, the script will be executed. Then again, it will come back to the screen to show the sum. Okay. So in the script, we have to write a script now. Same thing. It will be a, we need to write a addition script, tw dot local dot sum. Sum is equal to tw dot local dot input text plus tw dot local dot input text 2. Okay. So it's a simple script. So for some variable, I'm adding these two numbers and populating on the sum. So that's the reason sum is equal to input 1 plus input 2. Okay. Then once it is done, so I'm redirecting to the coach. Okay. So let's run. Okay. Here if you see, it is by default, it is integer type. So 0 will be populated. So I enter 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. If I click on calculate, see here. Okay. So once I click on sub, submit button. So here if you see both are calculated and showing here. Sir. Okay. So here it is not getting added here. Instead of that, it is concatenating. It is just it is taking 1, 2, 3 and also followed by appending with 3, 4, 5. So it is considering it as a string type while calculating it. So it is considered as a string type. Okay. So now we have to pass it as int so that the sum will be displayed correctly. So I'll go back to the um, calculate sum script here. I'll write a and sum equal to parse int. Okay, so I'm parsing it as a int. So that's the reason I'm using the parse script parse int. Okay, so what this script will do, it will parse our string type uh, a variable into integer type. So I'll run it again. Now 1 2 and 1 2 calculate. Here you can see it's 24. Okay. So if I enter 1 2 3 and previous one 3 4 5. So if I see if add it, it is 4 5 6. Okay. So our question is so even though you are taking it as a integer variable, why we are uh, why you need to parse it? Okay. So in the client side script, no, it is considering as a string type. So when it is considering as string type, right, it just appends the value. So that's the reason we can see combined values. So if you pass it as int, right, so then automatically it will be considered as int and the both the number will be added. Okay, this is the first way. This is the first way how you will be uh, uh, calculating the two numbers by using a script. Okay. In another way, so on click of submit button, you can do a sum. Okay, how you'll do that? So for that, simple uh, again you can duplicate it. I'll just take the service and duplicate it. Okay, for your references. I rename it as calculate CHS, calculate by event. Okay, CHS. Okay, once that is done, I'll open that particular CHS. Okay, it's the same thing, same service. I duplicated it. Now I don't want this part, integer and all, so I delete it. Okay, so now if I open here, right? So already I have a input one variable and input two also I have, and sum is there. Okay, and submit button also there. So as it is copied from previous thing. So now I need to get the value from this text box, and also I need to get the value from this text box, and I need to perform a sum operation. Then after that I need to display it here. Okay. So to get this value here, if I select input text box, we will be having a control ID. Okay. So you need to copy the control ID and come to submit button on events. Okay. In the events on click of this one. So what I will do, I'll write a script where input one is equal to dollar. So in the floor bracket dot should type get data. Okay, what this particular script will do. So this will get the data from text one. Again, text one from where we selected, I copied from here. So input text, general and control ID. Similar way, I'll go to input text two, again general and control ID. Okay. So in the text two, text two. So again, I'll go to text to control ID. I copied and I'll go to submit button and again I'll write like where input two is equal to dollar. So text ID two dot get data. Okay. Now what it will do? It will get the data from data from text to control ID, which is input. Okay. Uh, So this particular field. Okay. So now input two. Okay. Now we need to add those two variables and I need to assign to this sum. Okay. For that, what I need to do? So I need to perform a sum operation, right? So again, go to uh, submit button and on click event here where sum is equal to. You have to declare a variable sum is equal to. So input one plus input two. Okay. Input 1 and input 2 got added and it will be assigned to sum. So once this is sum is ready, so we need to set this particular variable to sum. Okay, which is this particular for this particular field, we need to set the value. For that, again, simple. Uh, again, get this control ID, go to sum. In general, we will be having control ID, copy this. So come to text, come to the button and on click event. So here on click event, we will be writing something like again you will be setting the value to set this dollar open floor bracket and close floor bracket. In that you have to paste the sum of field control ID which is output text 1 dot set the data. In off you have to give some value. Okay, some value. Okay, okay, some value. Now the value will assign to this we will assign to sum. Okay, now let's run it. Okay, so same thing, I'll enter 1 2 again 1 2. If I click calculate it, it is showing 1 to 1 2. Okay. Again, it is considering as string, so we have to parse it as integer. So go back, open the coach. Here, go to submit. Under the submit, so here we are calculating it, right? So we will be writing same thing, parse int. Okay, parse int of input text 1, parse int of input text 2. Okay. Now the parsing will after the parsing as an integer, the sum will be added here. Both will be added and the value will be assigned to sum. Then value will get set. Okay. Again, I'll minimize it. So go to diagram, then run it. I'll enter 1 2 1 2. Calculate here. If you see sum added 24. Okay. I'll add 1 2 3 and again add 1 2 3. So it is 246. Mm. Now, now both the numbers are getting added. Okay. So that's all for adding these two numbers by using a BPM screen. Okay. So hope you'll understood the concept and thank you so much. See you in the next video.